Hello everyone and welcome to my channel once again. So today I'd like to discuss the latest patch of Diablo 4, and before we get into discussing the Gauntlet, the new endgame content, let's have a look at the technical point of view. And all I can say is shame on Blizzard, like really, like shame. It's a company that's no longer run by people who care and cherish the game, but purely by greed, because that's the feeling that I get. You know, as long as people buy the $75 mount, then why fix the game, right? We get the money, so who cares about the state of the game? Like, that's the feeling I'm getting from Blizzard when they literally lie in patch notes saying that all known snapshots were fixed in the latest patch, and that happened after they commented you know, under my video or under someone's repost on Reddit of my video showing all of the snapshots, at least for barbarian, you know. And that's absolutely insane that you know, they did that, because the first thing I did when I had some time to play the game is that I went into the training grounds to test the snapshots. And guess what? Apart from the gear and aspect snapshots, all of the snapshots work. Literally all of the snapshots still work. So yeah, you have never-ending Berserking, you know, snapshot, which allows you to have 2 key skill passives at the same time for barbarian. I mean, sure, you can't use this in the Gauntlet because your skills and, you know, stuff like that are locked, but you can use it anywhere else, especially in like PvP, you know. So you have never-ending Berserking, double key passives. You also have never-ending Wrath of the Berserker, and that one of course can be used in the Gauntlet, because as long as you never lose Berserking, you will never lose the buff. So even though it should only last for like 5 seconds, you have it the whole time. Again, especially horrible snapshot for PvP, because if you're like double swing barbarian, or if you just, you know, play it so that you never lose your Zerking, you never use your Wrath of the Berserker. Tibault's Will snapshots also still working. You can get your Tibault's Will buff, equip DR pants, and, you know, then you just need to keep your Unstoppable up. Right? If you never lose Unstoppable, you never lose the Tibault's Will buff. So you can have both DR pants and the buff from Tibault's Will. And again, especially in PvP, what you can do, and now that we also got, you know, Metamorphosis, you can just rotate your skills that give you Unstoppable with Metamorphosis to have, like, I don't know, 20-second non-stop Unstoppable, you know, 20 seconds of never-ending Tibault's Will without actually having Tibault's Will. And of course, Adrenaline Rush for the pet can be snapshotted as well. And that's like, how dare Blizzard say that they fixed all the known snapshots days after commenting on my video showing all of the snapshots? That's just horrible. That just shows you how little Blizzard cares about the game. And now that we got the technical stuff out of the way, you know, let's have a look at the Gauntlet itself. And the first thing I'd like to say is, it is not an endgame content. Like, I don't know whether Blizzard forgot, but endgame content is something you do when you have the best gear, the most optimized build there can be, you know, and you want to take it for a test run. So endgame content could be like Abattoir of Zir, T20 and higher. The reason I say T20 is because I personally did T20 with no snapshots, no Ubers, and no Tear of Blood glyph. It wasn't easy, but at least, like, that was the first level where I felt some challenge. I mean, it will it will obviously be different for casuals, but yeah, for casuals, keep content like the Gauntlet, okay? But it is like a mid-game content. It is not an end-game content, because you don't actually need anything for it. You don't need your build to be optimized. You don't need, you know, any Ubers. You don't need any Ubers. You don't need anything apart from movement speed and shrine buff duration. Like, that's all that you need, you know, because like you don't even need damage reductions or resistances. I personally have 27% on resistances. I have 0 damage reductions. I don't have any item with damage reduction, nothing, and still nothing kills me. Nothing even takes me under 99.9% HP. That is not an endgame content. That is early to mid-game content, okay? Because yeah, there is 0 challenge. There is 0 challenge in the game. You basically, all you do is you kill the first boss, which gives you the shrine, and then everything else you kill with the shrines. Especially once you get the artillery shrine, you just rotate the artillery shrine, and that is it. You press your shout as a barbarian, and the artillery shrine kills everything all around you. You don't even need your core skill, and that's just wrong. Like, you know, the content, like if I wanted to play a racing game and a memorizing game, it wouldn't be Diablo 4, you know, because that's all that Gauntlet is about. Memorize the route, you know, be like, okay, so it is right, left, straight, left, right, straight, you know, that's it. You just need to memorize this and then execute it. But it has nothing to do with combat skill. There is exactly zero combat skill necessary to do that. So I would rather play like Forza Horizon if I wanted a racing game, right? This is just not okay. And yeah, once again, the shrines being like the main source of damage and everything, I think they need to be nerfed by at the very least 99%. Yeah, 99% nerf to the shrines, because if you can't even use you literally cannot use your abilities because nothing is alive. Nothing will survive charge or whirlwind with artillery shrine. So like, why even have a like build, right? You just focus on the shrines, and that is not okay. The shrines should be supportive to your build, not your build. The shrines should not be the build, you know? It simply makes no sense. And I mean, Gauntlet might be good for casuals, or I think that's what they had in mind, right? When they were creating the Gauntlet, so that everyone can play it. But let's be honest, are there gonna be casuals in the top leaderboards? I'm telling you, there will not be a single casual there. No one. It will all be just the pros, just the tryhards, content creators, etc. So technically, it's not content for casuals either, because they will simply not place in the leaderboards. You know, they just won't. And like, once again, casuals usually play very little over the week, right? It's like, you know, dads with 3 children and 2 jobs, or, you know, I'm over exaggerating, but something like that, and they play like 1 hour daily. Do you think they're gonna spend the 1 hour just memorizing the route? That's not what they want to play. So yeah, it is not for pros, because there is 0 combat skill necessary, and it's not for casuals either, because you need to put the time into memorizing the route. You know, nothing else, obviously. As I said, you don't need any build or nothing, just movement speed and shrine buff duration. And like, crit strike damage, you know, and crit strike chance is good to boost the damage from the shrine, and just your stat, like your strength. So it's good to have like person strength, affix on your amulet, etc. to boost it. But yeah, like in general, you don't need anything, nothing, and yeah, you can clear it at level 70. Like, why is it T70 difficulty? Like, if you watch some of my previous videos, for example, you have the Abattoir of Zir. I was leveling in T9 Abattoir of Zir at level 80, and then from level 90 to 100 I was leveling up it in Abattoir of Zir T14. You know, sure, okay, like my combat skill might be higher, right? But it was still not a hard content, and so why make the content even easier? Like, most people that I know, most people that I talk to are like absolutely mad that T100s are so easy. You can complete them with just basic skill. most people that I know want T100s to be at least as hard as in preseason, you know? And yeah, sure, again, it might not be for the casuals, but that is okay, because casuals, once again, maybe won't even reach level 100, you know, and there's a lot of content for them. Just like the way to get to T100, you know, that's the content for them. But yeah, if you're a bit more pro, you get to T100 in 2 days. What do you do after? There's nothing to do, and Gauntlet is simply not it. My suggestion for the Gauntlet, what would make it really good, in my opinion, okay? In my opinion, what would make it really good is make it way shorter, like 2 minutes, okay? 2 minutes, but make it layered, okay? So you have 2 minutes to get some score, which would open a gate for you that would take you back to the beginning and increase the difficulty. And it would go like infinitely, right? It would go to like, let's say the T20 Abattoir of Zir, okay? Because like T20 and like T21 and higher, it was already pretty hard to do without the Tears of Blood glyph, right? I personally only got to T22 without the TOB glyph. So yeah, like T20, maybe stop it at T20, right? Now that we do not have the Tears of Blood glyph. But yeah, like 2 minutes, you would start at T70. After 2 minutes, I don't know, T90. After another 2 minutes, T110, you know? And it would just go all the way to, let's say, T20 Abattoir of Zir, where the shrines would mean close to nothing, apart from giving you, you know, movement speed and maybe the 100% crit strike chance, etc. But like the artillery shrine wouldn't do anything, pretty much, you know. The blasting shrine would help a little, but again, it would not be one-shotting everything. So that I think would be a great way to combine like Abattoir of Zir with the Gauntlet, you know, and I think that could be fun. I think that could really be fun. But right now, at least to me, it just isn't. It has nothing to do with combat skill. And for someone like myself, who's a theory crafter and a tester first and then gamer second, you know, spending tens of hours of just, you know, going through spreadsheets and hitting the dummies, testing, you know, passives, abilities, what it does, what it doesn't, what increases the damage and by how much, you know, and optimizing the build for like 0.0001% damage. This is like, you know, them taking all of my hard work, them taking, you know, all of the things that I enjoy and just throwing them into the trash bin, because having a good build simply doesn't matter, you know. Like in the video that you could have seen at the beginning where I just, you know, start the Gauntlet, I don't even have the build optimized, okay? I just like smacked my, you know, bleeding build and just changed the Paragon board a little, and I'm hitting charge for like up to 20 million, and that's without Wrath of the Berserker being stacked, you know, and 10 million like super unbuffed charge is like, you know, and the bosses have 30 million HP, the elites have 2 million. I'm like overkilling everything like several times, and I watched some other playthroughs in the Gauntlet, and you know, like for example Rob, he's hitting for half the damage of my charge, you know. And like if you compare the two builds, I'm sorry for using Rob as a reference, right? It's just it was the latest video that I saw, and he was hitting for around 6-7 million charge, so which is like, yeah, I hit 3 times, up to 3 times as much, right? So yeah, like unless the content is high, not high. Now it seems like I am high, which I'm not, by the way. But unless the content is really hard, you can't see the difference between the most min-max build there can be and just a good enough build, okay? And that I think is wrong, because that means it is not endgame content. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if Gauntlet is fun for you, I am super thrilled, okay? I'm super thrilled that you enjoy the Gauntlet, but I personally, and all the people that I talk to, even the people that play it a lot and they are in like top 10 or top 20 in the world, they don't like it. They like the competition, but they don't like the gauntlet itself at all. At all. And most of them even said that they just want the achievement and then they will never ever play it again because it's pure trash. So there you have it. See ya in the next one.